The Browns have signed Kadarius Toney to the practice squad. Initial reaction, I don't love it. I don't think Kadarius Toney is going to reach big expectations if you have big expectations for him. Now, it is important to note that this is a practice squad signing, which means he will get 3 free elevations to the active roster on game day, and then after those 3 free elevations, the Browns have to decide whether or not to add him to their roster permanently or release him. So, from a risk standpoint, it's very low risk. He's not taking anyone's roster spot. Sure, you are taking away a practice squad spot from someone else, but I mean, teams will, cough up a practice squad spot if it means they can get some good play out of a former first-round pick like Kadarius Toney, who has incredible speed and has got great physical tools, but I don't think he's very good. I think he is just a first-round bust. There are character concerns surrounding him that go back to his time really at Florida and then with the Giants, and these character concerns, a lot of them revolve around effort. If you've got a Giants friend, go text him about Kadarius Toney. He seemed at times more engaged with beefing with people on social media than worrying about his own game. I just feel like Kadarius Toney is not going to bring a great positive influence into this locker room, and I don't think he's very good. Last year for the Chiefs, 169 yards and 1 touchdown. I just don't think Kadarius Toney is going to be a dramatic improvement in the wide receiver room, and I don't think we'll really see him on the field much as a receiver. In all reality, we'll probably see him more as a punt returner, which he did house a punt in the Super Bowl for the Chiefs to help them win. So if he can bring some juice in that part of the game, awesome. But my reaction is I don't really love it because I don't think he's going to have that big of an influence on this team. But at the end of the day, it's a low-risk signing, so it's probably not going to be one that you look back at as some big mistake because he's not taking up a big part of your salary cap. The Browns do take on, I think, what's the final year of his rookie contract. So there are some guaranteed money going his way, but that's for Jimmy Haslam to worry about, not for you and I. But when news breaks, we're going to be the first ones to get you guys a video. We are live on our weekly show, which, by the way, is every Monday moving forward. So we got a video out during our live show for the people. So make sure to subscribe. Never miss a thing when it comes to your brownies when you hit the sub button down below. Now, getting back to the kind of just wide receiver room as a whole here for the Browns, unfortunately, the entire offense really stumbled around, so it's hard to just nitpick one group. But yeah, the wide receivers, they weren't exquisite in the loss against Dallas. Amari Cooper with a really bad drop in the fourth quarter. The game was out of reach at that point, so I don't look at that as what could have been. It's just another that's one more low light for the Browns. But Deshaun Watson was not on target, and he was not very accurate with his passes. He was definitely running for his life at times, but he was also doing some of that to himself by holding onto the ball for a long time and taking sacks as a result. So if you want to include Kadarius Toney on the depth chart, he would follow Cooper, Judy, Moore, Thrash, and Tillman. Remember, this is a practice squad signing, so he does not count towards your 53-man roster. He is on your 16-man practice squad, and I suspect that he will get an elevation maybe this Sunday, although it's kind of close already to week 2 against the Jags. So maybe they decide, hey, let's see how he looks in the week of practice, and then we can make a decision for week 3 back home against the Giants. So I wouldn't say he's a guarantee to play on Sunday against Jacksonville. It's largely going to come down to how does he look in practice? Is he in a good spot to play? Now, before we get any further in this signing and the reaction to it, I do need to fill everyone in on our great sponsor today, which is Game Time. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. One thing I really like about Game Time is their all-in pricing option. Toggling this feature shows you the total upfront cost with no surprise fees at checkout. Plus, they offer the Game Time guarantee. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, but again, create an account and redeem code CHAT Sports for $20 off your first purchase. Now, I'm going to actually kind of change things up a little bit on the fly here. Reed, let's go to Pro Football Talk's tweet because we've had a lot of news come out in the last 12 hours, and I want to do my best to kind of consolidate it for you guys so you're not going every single direction to cover and find it all. So Mike Florio dropped a little bit of a potential bombshell, safe to say, regarding Deshaun Watson, which is he has been sued again. Now, what's important to note is this lawsuit is different than the pre-existing 20-plus lawsuits regarding his massages. And it's a very important distinction. This is not a continuation of the previous lawsuits, which means it's its own separate thing. And while it includes sexual assault and battery, that could lead to a path for the Browns to get out of his contract. I'll get to that in a moment. But let's start by going over the allegations. And that's what they are right now. Allegations. Innocent until proven guilty. But here is what the allegations are. And I'm not going to read the entire thing out to you. I don't think that'd be a great use of your time. So you're more than welcome to go read it all at Pro Football Talk. But let me start off by going back to when the date was set for this, which is October 10th, 2020. Watson, per the lawsuit, was initially unable to find the Jane Doe, who, by the way, is a Jane Doe. They are anonymous for now. Apartment for an arranged date. He called her and allegedly began aggressively yelling and screaming and stating that he could not find her apartment and that he doesn't have time for this. Not going to lie, just right off the bat, that's very bizarre behavior for someone on a date to get that upset over not finding the apartment, but we continue on. When Watson finally arrived at Doe's apartment, Doe had not finished putting on makeup, so she invited Watson in to have a seat in her living room while she finished getting ready. This is where it goes downhill. Jane Doe came out of her bathroom to investigate Watson's silence when talking and shockingly found him completely naked on her bed, lying face down on his stomach. Now, it goes on to detail, and that's where I'm saying you're more than welcome to read yourself, but the short version of it is Watson indicated that he wanted his buttocks to be massaged. And then it turned physical, and that's where the sexual assault and battery comes in, including what basically is described as rape, as he forcibly inserted you-know-what into her you-know-what. So that's that. I'm not trying to downplay it by any stretch, but there's a lot of details there that you're more than welcome to check out yourself. But what's really important for the Browns here when it comes to his contract, this new case raises plenty of issues from the standpoint of the league and the Browns. Mike Florio says it's possible that Watson could be subject to further scrutiny under the personal conduct policy. It's also possible that a suspension, if one is imposed, could give the Browns a path toward voiding his remaining salary guarantees and ending the relationship. So with a new allegation coming out that's not related to the previous ones, the Browns can say, hey, this is a whole new thing. You're suspended for this. This is conduct unbecoming of a player of ours. We are releasing you. And they are well within their rights to do that. Every team is. So I don't know if this is going to be something that gets a lot of legs, if there's truth to this. But as of now, it's a he said, she said, and a Jane Doe is choosing to be anonymous. So I'm reluctant to believe from the court of law it's going to get much traction soon. And I don't think the NFL is going to take a serious inquiry into this as long as it is purely he said, she said, and there's no evidence to substantiate what these allegations claim. Now, if evidence comes out, that changes everything. But right now, just being allegations, I don't think this is going to go very far. But if the Browns are quietly and secretly dying inside to get out of Watson's contract, they may really start to kind of push on this from behind the scenes to get enough support to void the rest of his contract. So to wrap up the video, grade the Kadarius Toney signing. A, B, C, D, or F. I'm going to give it a D+. I don't have high expectations for Toney in this role for the Browns, and I don't think we're going to see much of him. And I wouldn't be surprised if Kadarius Toney is released before he even scores a touchdown for Cleveland. Now, make sure to follow us on Instagram, Browns Report IG. We're posting content over there. Appreciate everyone for watching with us today, and we'll catch you all later.